Ms. Pinnock, Ms. Good, Mr. Pillinger, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. March 28th, 2019 was supposed to be a celebration. Samantha Josephson and friends were gathering together as a celebration of life. They hadn't seen one another in a while, and they were getting together because, quite frankly, they were all about to graduate. They were getting together to relive a few of those kind and fun moments of college, and a chance to reflect a little bit on those times and also to think a little bit about what the future was to hold. They were looking towards toasting and celebrating the fact that they were graduating and moving to a new phase of their life. They had their eyes firmly fixed on their futures and their eyes firmly fixed on their love for one another. But what they didn't realize, what they could never have realized, is that the defendant, Nathaniel David Rowland, had his eyes firmly fixed on Samantha Josephson. He had his eyes fixed on Miss Josephson as she walked outside the Bird Dog Lounge in 5 Points, alone. As she walked outside, as she had ordered an Uber ride, alone. As she stood there alone waiting on that Uber, he had his eyes firmly transfixed on her as she waited for that Uber ride to arrive. We know this because 5 Points has cameras. The cameras captured Nathaniel Rowland's vehicle, a 2017 Chevrolet Impala, a black 2017 Chevrolet Impala, circling the block multiple times, not stopping to converse with people, not stopping to eat, but just circling the block, sometimes even in the wrong direction down Saluda Avenue. 5 Points has cameras. Cameras record Nathaniel Rowland's 2017 black Impala as it pulls into a parking space next to where Samantha is waiting by herself for that Uber. And she mistakenly gets into that vehicle owned by the defendant, Nathaniel David Rowland. And we know that to be true because those cameras in 5 Points that I mentioned to you captured those things. The evidence will show that after she got into that vehicle, that's the last time that anybody saw her alive. The next time that somebody saw Samantha Josephson, she was found alone in the woods, covered in her own blood, dead. She'd been stabbed multiple times from the bottom of her feet, throughout her torso, throughout her face, her neck, and her head. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm Byron Gibson. I'm the solicitor here. And along with Deputy Solicitor Daniel Goldberg, Deputy Solicitor April Sampson, and Assistant Solicitor Amanda Gaston, we represent the state of South Carolina against the defendant, Nathaniel David Rowland. Now, over the next couple moments, I'm going to give you just a little bit of a roadmap so that you'll understand where we're going and what we're going to be doing over the next several days as we try this case. And let me say this, just a point of order. You may see the folks at this table sometimes without masks on. We've been vaccinated. We're not making a political statement. We're conversing with one another. We've been together for some period of time and we're comfortable with one another. We believe that the evidence in this case is going to show, and the evidence that you're going to hear from this witness chair in this courtroom, that once Samantha Josephson got into Nathaniel Rowland's 2017 black Impala, she couldn't get out. And she couldn't get out because the child's safety lights were engaged. We believe that the evidence will show that that vehicle traveled through the Shandon community and into the Rosewood community. We know that to be true because Samantha's friends and her boyfriend Greg shared their locations on a social app called Find My Friend. We believe that investigators will testify that Samantha's phone tracked into that Rosewood community, but mysteriously powered off around 2:27 a.m., roughly 20 minutes from the time that she got into Nathaniel Rowland's 2017 black Impala. We believe that the evidence will show that Nathaniel Rowland's phone and Samantha Josephson's phones tracked together, meaning they were together in that car, in that vehicle at some point in time. We believe the evidence will show that after Samantha's phone powered off, that Mr. Rowland's phone continued to ping, to be tracked up Rosewood, up Garners Ferry Road, eventually up Sumter Highway, into Sumter, South Carolina, and then into a small community called New Zion. New Zion, remember that place. New Zion is important for several reasons. Number one, it's the childhood town of the defendant, Nathaniel David Rowland. It's the place where Samantha Josephson's body was found, where it had been discarded, where it had been dumped. And interestingly enough, the place where her body was discarded, dumped, that remote area, was just about 2 miles from the family home of Nathaniel David Rowland. We expect that the evidence will show that after leaving New Zion, Mr. Rowland's phone tracks back through Sumter, South Carolina. But this time, he makes a stop. Someone is seen using Samantha Josephson's debit card, Wells Fargo card, attempting to get money out of her account, 2 times unsuccessfully. The evidence will show that Mr. Rowland's phone tracks back into Columbia, South Carolina, pretty much the corner of Rosewood and Garners Ferry. There's a Wells Fargo there. Video evidence will show, again, a person attempting to get money out of Samantha Josephson's account. 9 attempts, each one of those 9 attempts unsuccessful. And again, video evidence will show those things. We expect that you'll hear testimony from a person named Maria, somebody who is a friend of Mr. Josephson, who had just begun to have some type of relationship with Mr. Josephson. We believe the testimony will show that Mr. Josephson had access to Maria's home. Maria was a friend who Mr. Rowland was supposed to be taking to work that morning, some hours after Samantha disappeared. He was late, but he did arrive at Maria's home. And when he got there, got in the car, when Maria got in the car, we expect the testimony will show that she questioned what was going on inside that car. Why was there blood inside the car? We expect that you'll hear testimony about the fact that once she arrived at work late, there was an agreement that he was to pick her up from work, but he was late to that as well. We expect the testimony will show video evidence of Mr. Rowland walking into the store to attempt to sell Samantha Josephson's cell phone. We expect that you'll hear evidence. You'll hear evidence from this witness chair of witnesses who will talk about the bloody clothes of Nathaniel Rowland that they found in a dumpster behind Maria's home that he had access to. Cleaning products that were in a dumpster behind Maria's home that he had access to. And this peculiar looking knife-bladed tool that we expect Maria will testify that she'd seen Mr. Rowland with on a previous occasion. We also expect that you'll hear that that weapon was found in the garbage behind Maria's home. But equally important, as you hear testimony, you'll hear from a pathologist. That pathologist will explain to you that Samantha Josephson suffered over 100 different stab wounds and cuts and abrasions across her body. And those wounds were consistent with that blade that they found, or that was found in the trash behind Maria's home. That blade that she saw him cleaning at some point in time the next day. I submit to you that as you hear additional testimony, you'll hear testimony about DNA analysts and crime scene analysts who came and they took a look at Mr. Rowland's 2017 black Impala. And they found Samantha Josephson's blood in that Impala, her prints in that Impala, her hair in that Impala. We suggest to you that that's the same vehicle that was seen circling around 5 Points. The same vehicle that Maria rode in that day and said, hey, what's going on with the blood? That same vehicle that 24 hours after Samantha Josephson showed missing, came up missing. That same vehicle that was back in 5 Points, riding down the street. Evidence will show that the Columbia Police Department initiated a traffic stop on that 2017 black Impala. And Mr. Rowland eventually stopped the car after he turned the wrong way down Saluda Avenue for the second time in less than 24 hours. Mr. Rowland, at some point, gets out of the vehicle, speaks with police, and takes off running. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's for those intentional, deliberate, heinous, cruel, and malicious acts that Nathaniel David Rowland has been indicted for kidnapping Samantha Josephson. He's been indicted for murdering Samantha Josephson. And he's been indicted for possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. And at the appropriate time, we'll ask that you return verdicts of guilty on each one of those counts. Now, as the prosecutor, I carry the role, and all of us at this table carry the role of having to prove the case against Nathaniel David Rowland. Every element, as Judge Newman has said, beyond a reasonable doubt. And we welcome that role. We welcome that opportunity. Our courts have defined reasonable doubt in a couple ways. One is reasonable doubt is the amount of doubt that makes a reasonable person hesitate to act. The amount of doubt that causes a reasonable person to hesitate to act. Or a second definition is you, the jury, must be firmly convinced of a defendant's guilt in order to find him guilty. Now, Judge Newman has explained to you the roles that each of us has in this courtroom. But part of that role, too, is the definitions that I just gave. You actually will take those definitions from Judge Newman, because he's the judge of the law in this case. He will instruct you on reasonable doubt. He'll instruct you on all of the other legal matters that you have to deal with. And you're to take the law as he gives it to you, because he is the judge in this case, and he is the judge of the law of this case. But you have a role as well. Each of you will be a judge of the facts in this case. And the facts that come from this witness chair, the evidence that comes from this witness chair, will be what you make your decisions on. You'll take the facts that you learned here and apply the law that Judge Newman gives you. And ultimately, when that time comes, when you're instructed to, deliberate. Now, some of you are probably asking, well, how in the world am I supposed to deliberate and deal with the facts and judge evidence and all this stuff that you're talking about? Let me just give you a couple tips and then I'll get out of your face. First, you're going to be introduced to basically 3 different types of evidence in this case. The first is direct evidence. Direct evidence is evidence that you can see, that you can touch, that you can feel, maybe even smell. Direct evidence. A second type of evidence is circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is evidence that you can infer exists from a series of facts. I'll say that again. Evidence that you can infer exists based on a series of facts. So one of the best analogies of circumstantial evidence that I can give you is, as we sit in this courtroom today, we all know it's summer in South Carolina. It's raining today, it's a little warm outside. But let's say we walk out of here at 5:30 or 6 o'clock today, and whatever time the Judge Newman tells us we can go home, and you see snow on the ground. Let's say you see icicles hanging down from the post office. You see tracks in there, and maybe see some penguins walking around. You didn't see what happened, but you can infer that it snowed. You may not have seen it coming down, you may not have felt the weather change, but you can infer that it snowed based on the series of facts that there's snow on the ground, that there are tracks, that there are icicles. You can infer that. I say that because when it comes to circumstantial evidence, it's just as powerful as direct evidence. And that's some of the things that you'll see in this case. You'll have circumstantial evidence, and you can infer certain things happened based on that series of facts. And you're to take that just as you would direct evidence. A third type of evidence that you'll see in this case are stipulations. Stipulations are agreements between the parties, so between our office and the defense, that certain facts exist. And if you are read a stipulation by our office or judge informs you that the stipulation exists, then you are to take that as if it's a testimony that came from that witness chair, uncontradicted, because all parties agree that it's there. Now, as it comes to looking at witnesses, you're going to hear from lay witnesses, meaning people who may have witnessed something particular or seen something particular in this case. You'll hear from law enforcement. You'll hear from experts. And judge will explain to you the role of experts in this case at the appropriate time. But as you listen to them, you'll have the opportunity to judge their credibility and their believability. And so you may ask how you do that. I'll just say simply, just like you're judging my credibility and my believability right now, those same tools that you've used throughout your lives, that's what we're asking you to bring to the table as you deliberate, as you listen to this case, and as you ultimately deliberate. I'll tell you, you didn't leave your common sense in the parking lot when you parked today. You brought it with you. That's why you all are sitting here right now. That's why we went through that painstaking process of picking jurors over the last day and a half, so that we could make sure to pick folks who could well and truly try the facts of this case in this courtroom and ultimately return a verdict. And we'll be asking that you return a verdict of guilty. You are to try this case based on the evidence that you hear in this courtroom, not someplace else, not thoughts that you may have about X, Y, or Z, but what you hear in this courtroom during this trial. Now, my final ask of you here is going to be simple. I'm going to ask that you consider something that's called Hakim's razor. Hakim's razor is a principle that suggests that with all things being considered, the simplest explanation is the truth. With all things being considered, the simplest explanation is the truth. We believe that the simple explanation is that Nathaniel David Rowland kidnapped Samantha Josephson. We believe that the simple explanation is that Nathaniel David Rowland murdered Samantha Josephson. And we believe the simple explanation in this case is that Nathaniel David Rowland possessed a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. And we believe those things because it's not only the simple explanation, but it's the right explanation. And ultimately, after you hear all of the evidence in this case, we'll be asking that you return a verdict of guilty of all counts, because he is indeed guilty in all counts. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience.